The future is female, and behind every successful woman is herself. At BeachCandy Swimwear, we believe real women truly do shine the brightest. Welcome to the Real Women Shine podcast with BeachCandy Swimwear. Hey everyone, my name is Britt, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm the founder and designer at BeachCandy Swimwear. And during the pandemic, we've started a podcast called Real Women Shine, and highlighting real women in the area that are up to great things, that really have expertise in areas that we think will bring you value. So today we're going to be talking with Susan Howington, who is a career management and transition expert. Her company, Power Connections, that has been placing people within their perfect careers and jobs as they transition from one company to the next. So I really just wanted to take this time, we're in the middle of the pandemic, it's June 2020, and talk to Susan about how to get back there into the workforce, some great tips and ways to really stand out against the crowd. And Susan really says now is the time to get back into the market and to put yourself out there. So let's talk with Susan and get right to it. Hey Susan, how are you?
I'm great, Britt. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So it looks like you're in your office today.
I am. We're doing some work here, and but most of our work, like everybody else, has been from home.
Yes.
But now it's kind of nice to go to the office to get a new scene and be in a different atmosphere. So
For those who are watching and meeting you for the first time, can you just give us a little background on what you do, and we'll kind of dive deeper into the incredible value that you can bring to everyone listening today.
Sure. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. I was very honored to be asked.
Our
but
pleasure.
I always love to talk about what we do. But again, my name's Susan Howington, and I'm a career coach, an executive coach, but I specialize in career management with people. And then to hone that down a little bit deeper, most specifically career transition work with people. And I have a business called Power Connections Career Services. And we essentially, for the most part, work with companies when they let people go for whatever reason, mergers and acquisitions. Of course, we know what's going on now during the COVID times. The pandemic has really impacted severely the business prospects of many companies. And so unfortunately, they've had to let a lot of people go. And so as part of the benefits, severance benefits, they'll give them an outplacement package with my company. And so what that means is we help those people that have been impacted by that downsizing with their resume, their LinkedIn profile, cover letter, with their interviewing skills, with job search techniques. And we're helping them really move forward in the most productive and valuable way that they can to land another position. So, when I think about what's happening right now, Britt, it's very easy to feel, just to be putting it bluntly, depressed and a feeling or a sense of hopelessness, like when is this all going to end? But the fact is we're doing such good work with people. We're really the refuge in the storm for them. We support them. We're showing them a way. We're cracking a door open for them. And I couldn't be prouder of what we're doing. And I feel such value right now with the services that we do provide. So in times like this, that's when we shine, and that's when we do our best work for people.
I love it. I've always loved what you do, and you put your heart and soul into it, where I know those larger big box, corporate companies, it's kind of just a thing they say they offer, but they don't go the extra mile. And I know you do. So now more than ever, I just wanted to check in with you and see, what's going on and how things are going. And any advice you have for somebody who doesn't have an outplacement package? What should they be doing? How can they prepare to weather this storm?
Yeah, boy, I tell you, there is a lot to job search, the art of it, if you will, the skill of job search. And let's face it, we're not job search experts, most of us, and I say us, meaning those people that are not in my business, of course, but you don't look for a job every day. You look for a job every couple of years. Some people every 10 years. Some people haven't looked for a job in 20 or 30 years. And so there's a lot to it that goes beyond a resume, and applying for a job. And now some people have never really experienced applying online for jobs. Your younger worker, that's all they know. But if you've been in a position for 10 years, 10 years ago, it wasn't, job search was not dependent upon being technically savvy and learning how to work the job boards. So there's a lot to know, but there are some key things somebody has to have. You've got to have a great resume. Resumes, I think years ago, people were predicting resumes were going to go away. They haven't gone away. I don't think they're going to go away in the near future. They certainly have not gone away now. So a good resume is important. Number two, just as important, is a good LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile is so critical because that's how you're going to get found by talent acquisition people, recruiters, employment agencies. So just having a profile, just listing what companies you worked from, it's not enough. And then networking is always super, super important. And if you don't know how to network, you need to talk to people, network with people, your friends, your family, business people you know, ask them who they know, learn how to talk to people about what it is you're looking for. So resume, LinkedIn, and networking are super important.
Wow, that's incredible. How would you recommend, is it just a cover letter that sets you apart, or how do you kind of stand out in a sea of applicants?
Yeah, that is a great question. A lot of applicant tracking systems don't accept cover letters. So you don't even have the opportunity to write to whoever might be looking at this thing, your resume, to say, this is why I'm different.
Right.
So what is super, super important, I keep using the word super, I'm sorry, I got to change that adjective. What is critical is that you look at the job lead that you're applying for and look at the keywords that they use. Look at the words that they're using to describe that job, and then adapt your resume, customize your resume with those keywords, because that system that you're submitting your resume in is using keywords to vet out the more appropriate candidates.
Wow. That's
so
wild.
If you don't know that, you could be the perfect fit for the job, but your resume is not speaking the literal words, is not expressing the literal words that job posting has.
Wow.
So that's one thing that a person looking for work should know about. If you don't have a career coach to tell you about that, that's something you should be keenly aware of when you're looking.
Amazing.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. That's so much good information that's not really, you can't find those things out. It feels like it's very elusive and a moving target.
You wouldn't know that. You
Right.
wouldn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. So being technically savvy it isn't a critical, but understanding what the technology is looking for on the back end is critical.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With, COVID, and it's June 2020, and with the pandemic, really, we're kind of in the thick of it. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, no end in sight. The disruption that's on the streets right now, and just the scary kind of atmosphere that we're in as an ununited United States. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a unique time that we've never seen before, no doubt. But honest to goodness, we are finding that our candidates actually are getting interviews and they are getting jobs. And it's so exciting to us, of course, to see that. That's the thing that people don't know, because we're so absorbed and consumed in all the negative that's going on right now. And God knows there's a lot of that. But the reality is there are industries and companies that are hiring. And if they're not hiring, they are looking for the right people for when they can hire again. So I want to encourage people to keep looking during this time. And just from a simple competitive perspective, a lot of people are not looking for jobs right now because they think there's no point to it. Mm-hmm. So that alone, Britt, is thinning out the competitive landscape for people that are looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And by the way, those companies where the recruiters are chartered with keep looking for talent, they're going to remember the person that is aggressive, that's getting in front of them, because there aren't a lot of people doing that right now. And they're going to appreciate your fortitude and your ambition. So I want to encourage people to keep thinking about the job search. Get that resume ready. Start thinking about who do you know, what companies do you want to work for, and target those companies, approach them, learn about them, research them, see what's going on there. Because these times will stop, they'll change, and companies will need to move forward. And they'll move forward by hiring people. They'll move forward by getting people in place now and offering people positions so they have the talent they need now. So I want to encourage people to pick themselves up, get encouraged, get your energy source from somewhere, and start looking for that job strategically.
Amazing. And you did say networking, and I know, we're all kind of encouraged to, keep a distance. So in networking, are you, would you say that LinkedIn and social media is the place to network these days?
Yes.
Or where's a good place to kind of get conversations started?
Yeah, I would say pick up the telephone, the cell phone, just call people, text people, invite them to a virtual meeting. I mean, think about all the virtual meetings that friends are having, and groups,
Right.
Professional services groups are having virtual meetings. Monthly meetings that used to be breakfast meetings are now virtual meetings. Everybody's doing things virtually. And I would prefer that over texting people, because texting is, it's easy to not get emotionally and intellectually engaged with texting. It's it can be considered more of a pastime. So if you want to network effectively, I would strongly suggest emailing, texting, of course, but emailing, then asking for a phone call or asking for a virtual meeting, and getting that real connection there. The other thing, if I were to give a tip about networking, Britt, is that networking when you're looking for a job, a lot of people who are not comfortable with networking and don't really understand the concept behind networking think it's the opportunity for you to talk at somebody about what you're looking for. And actually, that's the wrong approach, to be perfectly blunt. Networking is about learning about somebody else, associating with them, having a dialogue, a conversation versus a monologue, and in the end, asking them and thinking about what can you do to enhance their network? What can I do for you, Britt? And by the way, this is what I'm looking for. Should you have any ideas for me, I'd appreciate it. And it makes for that proverbial two-way street, and people feel like it's a valuable use of their time versus, oh, I got on this call with this person and all they did was talk at me about what they're looking for in a job. That's not interesting to me.
Absolutely.
Besides, everybody likes to talk about themselves.
Right.
So if I called you, Britt, to network with you, the first thing I should be doing is saying, Britt, how's business? Are people buying bathing suits? Who have you delighted today, Britt, with, the creation of one of your awesome suits? And let you tell me about who you are and what wonderful things you do. And then you're more open to saying, what about you, Susan?
Right.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
And with the media, the media is making it seem like it's hopeless out there. So that's a great bit of information from you saying it is possible. You can get hired right now.
Yes. And we have a list every month of the clients that we're working with that have landed positions. The other thing I think people should know, Britt, is that the industries that tend to be hiring right now are e-commerce. I mean, Amazon, we know, but there are a lot of smaller e-commerce. There are a lot of businesses that have an e-commerce arm, right?
Absolutely.
And they need help right now. medical device, medical services is hiring, logistics companies, supply chain companies, anything in the information technology sector. And you don't have to be an IT person, meaning a software engineer. You can be a marketing person that gets into the information technology area. All of these skill sets that support those industries have opportunity. So again, if you are smart about digging in, job search is work, by the way. It isn't happenstance, it's work.
Right.
And that's where being strategic comes in. So, and if you're somebody that likes to follow the business section of the newspaper and Wall Street, those companies where the stock prices are rising, check those out. Check those companies out in the industries they're in. There's your forecast.
Right, right. Absolutely. I know the market has actually been doing some good things.
Yes, it has.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
You know, the other thing too is if you think about your search in sort of the terms that I'm proposing here, it helps you feel like you have more control because you are actually planning and strategizing, and you're laying out the path that you're going to take to get your next job versus where, why, you know, who, how.
Right. It refines your
I got to get
search.
lucky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's terrible. It's a hopeless, helpless feeling.
And with the unemployment rates, how long do you think, I know that's the $1 million question, but
yeah,
how long do you think it'll take for us to pull out of this and really see the other side?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Our unemployment rate jumped up from, what was it? I think we were at 3-point-something% in February. It jumped up to 5.3 in March. Jumped up 1.5 in 1 month. And the United States as a whole is almost 15%. So California's unemployment rate is 1/3 of the rest of the country. So that's the good news, if there is good news in this. We've lost, I think, and don't quote me on this, but around 67,000 jobs in the last couple of months. LA County has lost well over 300,000 jobs. So we're talking from Orange County, California, right?
Right.
So if we have a client here, there is opportunity here. LA is a little more challenging. And other parts of the country a little more challenging and not so challenging. So it really does depend on where you are in the country.
Right.
So yes, if you want to read the newspaper for the front page, you're not going to learn what's going on, behind the scenes. What's not being talked about, as you said. There is an opportunity out there. You just have to work a little bit harder to get at it, and you got to use your business mind to think about your approach.
Right. That makes perfect sense to really strategize because it is a different roadmap. It's a different climate. And so figuring out how to virtually, get in front of and stand out is the name of the game these days. And for who knows how long. So we better get comfortable with it, right?
We better get comfortable with it. The other technique that somebody can use, you mentioned social media and LinkedIn. Another great way to get exposure is to, and I've always said this, to present yourself as an expert in your field. Now, many people are uncomfortable calling themselves an expert. Brett, you can call yourself an expert in swimsuit design and the making of a swimsuit. I can call myself an expert in career transition, career management, counseling, because I do this full time. You've been doing what you do for a long time. But if you are a marketing person, let's say, or you think of yourself as a generalist in something that you do, in the business category that you're in, really challenge yourself to hone in on one aspect of what you do and then start presenting yourself in that arena. And you can do that on LinkedIn very easily. Post articles that are talking about an aspect of what you do that you like, that you're interested in, that you could have a conversation with somebody about. Start posting your own little mini blog entries on LinkedIn. You can do that on LinkedIn. You don't have to have a website and a blog anymore, an official blog. You can blog on LinkedIn. And then back to that concept about keyword searches. People do keyword searches in LinkedIn all day long. And if you've got in your profile enough about that thing that you're presenting that you know a lot about, or that you have a lot of interest in, people will begin to recognize you as the expert in that subject. So it bodes very, very well for a person in building their brand. And we all could use a good, strong brand. And it's up to us to identify our own brand, because no one else is going to do it for us.
Absolutely.
You've got to know what you can hang on to and use as your anchor.
Right.
And, you know, that's part of the career coaching part too. But you're asking me, if you don't have a career transition coach, how can you maneuver and manage this very challenging times? I'm sharing with you what I would share with one of my clients.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's so valuable to just have a refined and expert point of view in this, because I know for many it just seems very bleak and very impossible, and just this long waiting game with no idea of when the end date is. So having a refined way of taking action is invaluable. So thank you so much. That's incredible.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the last thing I think I would say is, don't rest on your laurels. When business starts to open up again, it will start happening fast and furiously, I think. And your company that might have let you go right now, I know I hear about it, that unemployment is pretty nice, that some employees are being called back to work and they don't want to because they're doing just fine, thank you very much, financially. I'm not sure that I would agree with that strategy. I think it's, if your company is calling and you like your company and you like your job, I would strongly suggest you go back. Because when companies do start opening up, if you didn't show a loyalty or commitment, and I know that's, people will argue you shouldn't have a loyalty or commitment to any company, but right now companies need that. We all need to know who's with us, who's committed to us in these really unrestful times. And when they need help, they're going to need help. And so get back to work. Everybody get back to work. If you have the option, get back to work. Your career could depend on it, because once companies do start opening, it may not be that easy to get back into it. So I would say go back to work if you can. Yeah. So we've talked a lot about those that don't have a job to go to, but now I guess I'm flipping to people that do have a job. If you've been asked to come back, go back. Right. I would go back. And in your next interview for your next job, to give an example of how you are committed and you have a strong work ethic, you can even say, hey, I went back to my employer when financially I didn't have to, but I wanted to go back and help them build their business again. That's a great story, and any employer in the future would appreciate that.
Absolutely. It is nice as a business to know that you have a team that's, willing to go through the trenches with you on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And if someone wanted to hire you to help them with their job search, is that possible?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
They can call me directly, and we work with people all over the country. So it doesn't matter where you're located. You'll get my either my advice, the advice from my really great team, and we really do make a difference in people's lives and their ability to move forward successfully in their careers. So what we do is good stuff.
So I'll put the information on that for everyone that's listening down below if you want to reach out to Susan or have any questions. But she's definitely an expert in the Orange County and California area. But again, like she said, she's a national company. Normally I talk a little bit about BeachCandy, and I know that you own one very special gold bikini. Is that right?
Yes, gold leopard print bikini.
I love it. And what is it that you love about your BeachCandy swimsuit?
I love the fabric. I love Brit's signature crystals that she puts on it, because I'm a bling gal. I always have been, so that makes me feel special when I wear it. And it's a suit that no one else has.
Absolutely.
And I just think it makes me feel good when I'm wearing it, and it's very special. So, and I know that you do that for so many people.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
exactly it, is that, I like that when you put on a swimsuit, it doesn't just feel like you're putting something on because you need to go to the pool, but it's an exciting
Right.
thing to put on, and it makes you feel extraordinary. So that makes me
Yes,
feel good, makes me
it
feel like I'm
does.
doing my job.
Yeah, and if I had it, I would dangle it up in front here, but I don't. I'm sorry.
All good. We're at the office today working hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Susan. And I'll share
Thank
all the
you.
information that we've spoke of down below. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, and thank you again. I can't tell you enough how much this will probably help everyone who listens to it.
Well, you're welcome, Britt, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. It was a very special invitation for me, so I'm glad I could do it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Women Shine podcast with BeachCandy Swimwear. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked this video, and if you want to see more, please click on the subscribe button below. Don't forget to click the notification bell, which will notify you when a brand new BeachCandy video is published. We hope this episode brightened your day and inspired you to shine your brightest. If you want to learn more or experience our famous fit, you can head to our website at beachcandyswimwear.com.